33 East Broadway. This is a special live edition of the Jake Feinberg Show. Coming to you on Power Talk. Please go to our website, powertalk.live. Download our free app and stream all of our live local programming, including Solomon on Blast, the Jim Parisi Show, and yours truly, the Jake Feinberg Show. And we can't thank you enough for making us part of your day today. And my show revolves around the 4 L's of leadership, love, life, and lineage. And one of the cats who has been guiding me spiritually from the heavens on this trip has been the keyboardist and multi-instrumentalist Brent Mydland. And it's always an honor to connect with people who knew him personally, collaborated with him, and really understood the man behind the music. And great to connect with a guy who's been very supportive of my program on new media. He's out in the Netherlands now, in Amsterdam, having a ball. Danny Groen, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
My pleasure.
So it's great to connect with you, man. I kind of wanted you to just talk a little bit about. You said you came back from the studio the other day, so you're a musician yourself. What kind of? Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
I've been blessed to be playing with the drummer of there used to be Sade's drummer, Tony Trio, and he's out of Concord, and he's also played with Cold Blood.
Wow!
And that's just exclusively the drummer I've been blessed with to stick with me and be here, and he's going to be here. Hopefully he's going to be here soon so we could finish off the album I'm working on here at the Studio Amsterdam. And, I'm excited.
What instrument what instrument do you play?
I play guitar and sing and write all the music.
Wow. So you've been, I guess off the air, I was talking to Danny. You came over to the States as a young boy. Could you talk about the first time that you ran into Brent Mydland?
Well, I was a kid, and we used to play out at the school at the playground. And he's I'd say 3 or 4 years older than I am. And we used to hear him on his I don't even know, the B something his organ with the Leslies, and we would hear him playing all the time. He never came out to the playground. We heard him though. We never seen him. We just heard him, and it was just beautiful classical music that he was always playing at the time. And ironically, ran into him. We knew each other's names and stuff. I had a big family with cousins that all lived in the same neighborhood, right on the other side of the school. And it wasn't until he moved away and went to another high school, still in Concord. And then we ran into each other probably about, I'd say 15, 20 years later, when he was already with the Grateful Dead, who ironically he replaced Keith Godshaw.
That's right.
Which was, which happened to be my secretary at school's son. Anyway.
But no, he went to Camelback. He was in a band called Camelback East or something. I mean, did you know him?
Yes, I believe so. And there were so many bands Brent was with. But anyway, so yeah, I ran into Brent through a mutual friend who was a roommate of mine, and then we really just we hung out for, I'd say, a good 2 or 3 years, and of course I was blessed to get backstage passes to a couple of the Dead concerts, and I'd never been before, and it was what can I say? That there's nothing quite like Dead concert. I mean, it was just a visual. Everybody knows about the Dead concert. I didn't until then.
Why don't you talk? What was the? So, how close did you actually? When did you first become close with Brent?
Let's see. If I was to remember a year, it'd probably be around, I'd say about 85, for like, yeah, about 85, I believe.
Wow. So how did you? So that's interesting. So he was well immersed in the band at that point. How did you wind up getting close with him at that time?
Well, I went to a friend of mine out in the boat that he was staying, and it happened to be him and Brent's boat out the Martinez Marina, and there walked in Brent because it was half his boat too.
Wait, hold on. Who was this cat? What was this cat's name, by the way? This friend of yours.
Gary Melson.
Where is he at now?
He's in Martinez,
So,
still right down the street from the marina where the boat used to be.
Because Brent, this cat, Matt Sinclair told me that Brent grew up kind of on this almost an island, so he was always on a boat from an early age. He was very well versed in that. So he had a a boat you would cruise around with. It wasn't a houseboat, was it?
It was I'd say if I were to guess a footage of it, yeah, a big cabin cruiser. Like about a 35-foot cabin cruiser, like that.
Wow. So your buddy, you were close with your buddy. You knew Brent before, but then he invited you out to the boat, and Brent walked in.
Yes. That's how it happened, and then of course we knew all the same people, being that we grew up in the same little neighborhood of the Crawford Village Elementary School in Concord, and then we just hit it off, and ironically, a few of my friends, well, not a few, many of them have played with Brent. I personally have never had the privilege to, and I wish I would have, but we never did. And the funny thing is we really didn't talk much about music, to be honest with you, Jake.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was more of a personal. And what can I tell you? Those were the years of. I don't think I need to say what them years were. From '85 on. I mean. What could I tell you? It was a lot of cloudy stuff. We partied and had fun and laughed. Like you're supposed to. We enjoyed life, and we just clicked and had a great time together. And and really, I got a couple of neat stories.
Go ahead.
With him that I could share.
Please.
And. Well, one was, ironically, I was supposed to meet him, we were supposed to, with Gary Melson, supposed to meet him at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, completely sold out, and we got there late, and that's part of my, I was 2 years old when I was born, so I'm always late. But anyway, we got there, and Gary said, oh, forget it, we're not going to get in. I mean, there were probably like 100, 200... deadheads that were backstage trying to buy there was just like, he said, there's no way you're getting in. And, well, I have a knack for that. I ended up having to talk my way through, I don't know how many backstage, security and what have you. And there I was. I ended up getting in and walking backstage while they were performing on stage, and caught Brent's eye, and he actually stopped on the keyboards, looked at me, and continued on, had a big smile on his face, and yeah, so I went back out, got my friend, and which was actually Brent's friend, but Brent was like, same first question he asked is, how did you get back here? And the ironic part is now, like about 6 days later in Concord, where he's from.
Yes.
We go to a nightclub there, which used to be called Hobie's Roadhouse. They used to have jam nights there, and we were cruising around. I told Brent, man, hey, I want to go play, and so we went there. And the neatest thing is we go there, and here he is in his hometown, and nobody knew who he was. nobody knew who he is. Nobody recognized him.
I love it. It was so pre-internet. It was just the beginning of MTV and all this sort of. By the way, what did you say to those? Kid Candelario, Steve Parr. I mean, those cats. They're supposedly sweethearts, but they are. They won't. They're pretty defensive. They won't talk to me. I'm just curious about what you were able to say to them that allowed you to get past them.
I have not a clue. I am. I guess I got the knack of something.
Yeah.
Because
maybe they just.
I'm still doing it to this day, man.
Right.
I haven't paid for a show here in Amsterdam, and I can't tell you who I've gotten backstage on the guest list to. I could run down the names real quick here: Carlos Santana, Larry Graham, Y&T, Pat Travers. Yeah. I'm blessed. I guess I'm blessed with the gab of BS or something, man. But yeah, I don't know how I got past probably about 5 different security people.
Wow.
I just told him. Basically, I told him. I said, "Look, Brent's expecting me." I think I might have told him I just flew in from somewhere and came from the airport, which is a little white lie. But
basically,
if I remember something, it was.
This was like a situation where there were a few hundred people waiting to try to get in backstage.
Right, and it was like they couldn't do it,
Wow.
And these were, of course, his avid followers that follow them, that follow the dead all over the country.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So as you got to know him more, did you see what haunted him? Setting aside the drugs and whatnot. I mean, it seemed to me that the guy was just. I've never heard him play out of key. He could play every song in every key. His ears were huge. He added so much sonically to the band, and yet he never really. He
brought them up another level. You know that. We know that. Everybody knows that.
Here's the thing. I mean, Keith was great when he was on top of it, but he was dying out and killing himself, and eventually did. But so at that point, any live body would have brought something to the band. But Brent was so musical and so gifted musically that he definitely expanded their sound sonically. But yet he never, by all accounts, from what I can understand, he never felt that he was fully part of that group. Obviously, they're this is a guy Brent was going to see the Grateful Dead back before he even got with Batdorf and Rodney. So can you talk about this person, as we all are complex people, how complex Brent Mydland was?
He was the most humblest person and never even really talked much about, the shows, the playing music. It was hanging out with the few times, and I say few times because it really only was, it's not like we were together, every time he was, but I mean, I got to, like I said, I got to go to his house and stuff, and it wasn't like we had a close bond. My friend Gary Melson was pretty much he had some business dealings with him also, with Brent. They were partners with the boat for one, and a few other things like that. But anyway, Jake, the thing is it just we never talked much about music, even though we were both musicians and knew so many of the same people. What could I say? But so the humbleness in him was, and he didn't like. He didn't want to be like, hey, I'm Brent Mydland. He loved the fact that nobody knew him going into the clubs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. But yeah.
And that just used to always. What can I say? I'm a little opposite of Brent that way. I love attention. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And and that's just the way I'm built, you know. And but Brent, he seemed to shy away from it. I don't really think he that wasn't what he was after. That wasn't his thing, you know. It was just so 100% pure musical, and his heart was just you know, total passion, you know, 100% passion. And like I said, I used to hear him play when he was younger, nothing but classical music, and he brought that all with him. I would say he was known in the area as one of the first real, you know, jazz fusion rock keyboard players in the Bay Area, you know. And the respect that he's got from so many people. Another person I'm blessed to know, of course, is Dave Matthews from Santana and Etta James. And ironically, Dave did play his, got to sit in and play his keyboards one time, but also no real connection. Our relationship was just really I guess to say partying, man, having a good time and enjoying life, and never really talked much about music. So, what can I say?
Did you have a chance to go see the band with him and Billy Kreutzmann called Go Ahead, when Jerry was in the?
No, I didn't.
So, I mean, in general, what was your feeling? I mean, even though you only had an opportunity to hang with him a few times, I mean, what was your feeling like when he wound up overdosing? Were you at the funeral?
Shock, total shock, because nobody in our circle and nobody had any idea of the intravenous drug use, you know?
Right.
So it took us all by surprise and shock, and I think that was, I don't know what you know, everybody has, who knows what, just don't know. I think that's something that, you know, said that was his private thing that he kept completely private, to where it took everybody by shock and surprise. Nobody had no idea.
Talking to Danny Vandergroen here on the Jake Feinberg Show. Can you talk about your in the 70s, the first professional gig you had?
Let's see. I would probably, I was playing as a kid in a band where we all had you know, uniforms, glittery shirts and white pants, and I've kind of spoiled making good money. Not good money, but I mean, playing steadily. I was probably about 17, 18 at the time. And, and I couldn't stand half the music we were playing, you know, but that was kind of it. And after that, I had a band called R&R Machine that, again, involved some great players. And we really, you know, there was just basically, though, the Bay Area Concord clubs, a couple places like the Keystone, Mabuhay Gardens in San Francisco, and places like that. And, you know, we got spoiled with having a good following as I would say as a kid, you know. I mean, I'm still a kid, I think. But
was it original music? Was it original music, or were you just playing covers?
I'd say half and half. You know, I guess I started writing music, and people really, you know, clamped onto my songs and liked them a lot. And of course, and I, you know, And the blessing is, years later, you know, I got away from music. You know, life's things that life throws you, and here I am at this age where all of a sudden I'm getting blessed with things I got to pinch myself with, like the recording studio here is right across the street from where I was born, and where I lived till I was 4 years old. So little things like that, well, little things. These are big, huge things for me here, and you know, like I said, just blessed with playing with the owner of Studio Amsterdam, Nick DeWitt, is my bass player, and a guitar player, Jack Malonis, that graduated from MIT Hollywood, is on board. And like I said, and we're waiting for Tony Trio to come out here to do some gigs and hopefully do a little European tour. As for a name of the band, I don't even know. I think I'm going with 14. And let them figure it out.
What was I'm just curious about the Jazzers. Did you ever have a chance to see Miles or Pharoah Sanders or Coltrane? Any of these cats that were stretching the vocabulary of music? And I was hoping you could share a story about experience seeing some of these Afro Jazzers.
No, Jake, I can't because I just my whole influence when I was growing up was a guy named Frank Marino from Mahogany Rush.
Sure.
And yeah, and I say my music style revolves around. A lot of people say that my music reminds them of Thin Lizzy. And so I always went after the guitar players. You know what I mean? And that was my and that's why with Brent and the Grateful Dead, there was, be honest with you, that wasn't like really my kind of music, And I appreciate every kind of music, of course, but what I really never, I would say if I really had one big idol, rock and roll idol that just grabbed my attention and blew me away was this Frank Marino kid. He was only like about 21 years old at the time, and the other one is Jeff Beck.
I mean, but the Grateful Dead records don't do justice to the music. But I mean, when you saw a live, when you saw a live show, that's a completely different. I mean, people don't get it. They say, I don't understand. I listen to their albums and they don't really do it for me. And I'm like, they don't do it for me either. It's about the live show. The live show is complete. Can you just talk about that? Because at that point you realize how amazing a musician.
Well, the show is not only the Grateful Dead show is not just on the stage. It's not just the music.
Right.
It's literally depending on the size of who the audience is. It's the whole audience. I mean, everybody is just, and that was the most amazing thing. I'm like, I've probably seen 50, 100 concerts. I mean, I didn't count them or nothing. Still seeing shows, but absolutely there was nothing like a Dead show because of the passion almost every person in the audience had. I mean, it was like you're all of a sudden you're in this swirl of the dance that everybody's doing, and it's just like it's trance-like, and the music is almost just in the background because, I mean, for me anyway, because I'm just looking at everybody. I'm looking at the people, and in the meantime, the music is just, the jams are going, and that's why I think it was so good that their songs went so long, because the people didn't want to come out of that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah. I mean, it was a very stretched out, and obviously, a lot of people, a lot of the studio cats I've talked to, they don't necessarily like to wank a lot and be up there doing 10 or 15-minute solos when they feel like they've already said what they had to say in 30 seconds. But, I mean, there was something about this idea of saying, well, we're just going to, go fishing a little bit and ultimately listen to each other and let the music stretch out and obviously have this communal.
Here's the deal. From what I could tell you, the Dead let the audience decide and play their songs.
Yeah, right.
If you know what I'm getting at.
Well, they gauged the mood of the room, and they figured out.
Right, yeah. And when they see the people just didn't want that song to end, guess what? they're going to play it till they feel that people want it to end.
Yeah, no, I did. I mean,
and what could you say about that? It's like, after all, it's all about the audience and the fans. Let them play the music, and that's what the Dead did. That is probably what people don't understand when they listen to their music or albums. Live, there was nobody like them. The Deadheads followed them all over the United States. I mean, most of the shows were probably the same audience all over the country. You know what I mean?
I mean, I never saw one show and missed the boat, and I'm not sure if I don't think after Brent died, I don't think I'd really have wanted to go see them, per se. But it was, you were selling veggie burritos and doing what you could to just stay on the trip, but that's ultimately the music came out of that whole community anyway, and I think that their adherence and respect to the audience, without that core group, they wouldn't have amounted to much.
Well, they took Haight Ashbury all over the world, is what they did.
Right.
They took Haight Ashbury, and they took them all over the world. So the experience was not just the music.
Basically, at this point, for you, what kinds of venues? I mean, how many cities would you like to go on tour in Europe where would you like to go?
Jake, of course, I'd love to start in this city that there's no place in the world like it, Amsterdam. I'd like to start from here and take it as far as I can, And I think I got the tools with the people that I'm blessed with that are supporting me. And, I think I told you earlier I was 2 years old when I was born, late with everything. And, I'm hoping this is one of them things because the things that are falling in my path here, like I said, I have to pinch myself over, and the one thing that doesn't go away is every time I go to the studio to see my house that I was born in and lived in, and it's still there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'd like to take it as far as I could go. It's all about the music. Of course, I love attention. I love being on the stage, and I love seeing people smiling, clapping, and having a great time. And for me, that's what it's all about. I mean, as far as what can I tell you? I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry for this, and it's there, and I got to reach out what I could grab, and that's where I'm at right now. Blessings in disguise, and
I mean, I guess here's where the rubber meets the road. What is the hardest part right now for you, insofar as the fact that all this stuff seems to, like in life, these things come full circle, and now you're at a point where you're back where you were born, and what are you most scared about in terms of the fact that it seems like things are all lining up, but because you still are you able to let go of control? Are you able to just be here now? I mean, what is the most challenging part about the fact that it does seem like with Brent? I mean, Brent got into the Grateful Dead, got super rich, and bought all this material stuff, had a family, totally disintegrated, and was leaving this planet by 1990. So stardom and rock star success is not all that it's cracked up to be. You've had your own trip. Now you're at a point where you might be you're so hungry, you're starving. But how do you modulate it so that you don't, get too far out?
Well, I'll keep my feet on the ground, and I'm like 20 feet below sea level here, so just keep grounded and know and realize my blessings and how lucky I am, really. And who knows? Younger things might. I don't know. I like to think of myself as not letting things get to my head, and I think at this age everything is a blessing. You know what I mean? And just appreciate it, and really just know that know how lucky I am, man. And is it there yet? No, but it's gonna be. And what am I scared of? I don't know what the hell I'm scared of or what I'm not scared of. I'm scared of Trump, man. How's that? No.
Well, I mean, I think that when you're dealing with
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, but I mean, when you're living, you're looking at somebody who is an undiagnosed, has serious psychological issues, and a lot of his supporters would take him. I mean, they're just going to take him at his word over truth, and that's how. Ultimately, that's how not just authoritarianism starts, but that's how you get another Hitler kind of thing, and so it is very scary. And I don't.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes I got to watch my. One of my problems that I'm always coached about is I am too open and carry all my emotions, everything on my sleeves. But you know what? I got nothing to hide, and I don't have to remember stories. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that's the way I feel, and it does. Things bother me right now, and at the same time, I got to look at the comparison of where I'm from and where I'm at, and where, it's not fair to compare. Because I will say this with pride. And to all the Dutch people that are listening to this, there's no place like Holland on this planet. This is paradise, And yeah, and I'm still missing home and all my people I love and miss, And I want to see them, and I'm hoping by the grace of God that I will be seeing them soon.
Well,
and
I mean, I wish you all the best on this recent collaboration, and when you guys finish the record, I want you to come back on so we can play some of the tunes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And it's just a high honor to connect with you, and appreciate you being part of the program, Danny.
Well, Jake, this is an honor just to be doing this. This is my first live interview with anything, and
hey, we're worldwide, baby, worldwide. No, I mean, I also know that you learn something from everybody, and there's enlightened beings all over the place, and I appreciate the fact that you're hungry and you're on the and things are beginning to fall into place, and I have to say for myself too, it's at 39, you just have to sort of trust in yourself and move forward, and so we're both doing it, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, Jake, I appreciate every second here you gave me.
Much love, dude. We'll be in touch.
Much love to you. Peace and power to the people, man, and kindness and compassion to the world, and I hope everybody gets it.
All right, so do I. Good words, brother. Have a great night. Take care, brother.
All right, man.
Peace.
God bless you.
Bless you, man.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Well, just heard from Peter Margan and Danny Groen, a couple of really legendary people and musicians, guys that went off and sort of have been on their own trips, but in a lot of ways they're an inspiration to me as much as anybody else. We'll be back tomorrow with Creed Taylor and Suba Dread. Until then, we'll rejoin the Jim Parisi Show in progress.
So this battle will go on, and the media will play it down if Trump is right. If Trump is right, it should be the biggest story since him winning the election.